Dis-moi comment tu fais l'amour.
I want to change my mind. I sometimes feel, but tonight I don't, since I'm off to make the first ever Love TV in Stockholm with the band Barbarisms, very close to Sofia kyrka. Very close.
Since you gone, baby, I've had a hard time. The cashier girl at the
I'm at Vitabergsparken with Barbarisms, Nicholas Faraone, Robin of Ekenstam, Tom Skantse. Your new album is called, help me out.
Zugzwang.
Zugzwang.
That's how I would say it, but they would probably say it differently.
Zugzwang.
Is it German?
It's a German word, yeah.
What does it mean?
It means if you're playing chess and your opponent makes a move and it puts you in a position where any move that you make is a bad move.
Yeah, they say who will wrap his rotting arms? Who will wrap his rotting arms around you tonight?
Hi.
I'm from Voorheesville, New York, a small town outside of Albany in the Helderberg Mountains.
And Robin, are you from Stockholm?
Yeah.
You too, Tom?
No, I'm from outside of Gothenburg.
Wait, the song that you just played,
That's a very old song.
that's old.
It's one
Okay.
of the first ones we have ever played.
Which
together.
album is it on?
It's not on a record.
It's not on record.
No.
Will you use this one then on the new album?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's it called actually?
Soft Random Lies.
Do you think it's easier to write about sadness, loneliness, in love than the opposite, like being
It's
happy in love?
It's much harder to write emotionally in any sort of, with any sort of clarity for me. This is why Tom and I were having this conversation, because I was saying how excited I was that I had gotten the Heart on My Sleeve record out of my system.
So is it a bit therapeutic then, because you said you got it out of your system, so you needed to
exactly
to do that to feel better or to pass on to something else, maybe?
What I had to get out of my system was the insecurity of not being able to write a heart on your sleeve kind of song. Because before, what I was trying to say is that I felt a little insecure that maybe I was taking the easy way out by writing these songs that were maybe hard to interpret on a first listen. So I wanted to write some songs that were more emotionally bare and see if I could walk away from the process without feeling like I was selling my ass on the streets of Nashville. The ambition, as I describe it, sounds a little too arrogant to qualify as therapy.
I was wondering, what kind of feeling that you guys would like to invoke in people with the songs?
I don't know, is it hypnosis or something? I feel like a lot of our songs are kind of they test your patience a little bit, I guess. They're kind of slow. They're repetitive.
If there are stories occurring in a song, some kind of hypnosis is useful, because if you just want to slap your thigh, you're not terribly interested in what the guy's saying over the top of the beat.
Do you think that you could have written this record when, like, 15 years from now? Or do you think that we love less passionately when we're older?
I think that if I'm writing about heartache, in some ways I'm using heartache from, like, being a child. You become more skillful at talking around heartache as you get older.
What kind of love do you think is important to you now?
I don't know, maybe the love of actually, like, making more music, because we've been doing that now. It's been nice to sort of, I don't know, get into yourself a little bit and just, like, focus on what you love doing, I think.
It's interesting, speaking of love, in that perspective of, like, growing up, and when you're young, it's easier to love sort of more passionately, I guess. Like, the friends you get when you're young, it's sort of like you're falling in love with friends. And that happens very rarely now. But having a band and playing music together, that's sort of, you need some kind of love for the music to be able to do that. It's hard to speak of love without it sounding a bit stupid, but you know,
No.
I guess it's about loving your own life, trying to love your own life.
I think being very romantic about melancholy can be productive. I think that being just straight down in the dumps just feels like being down in the dumps. Being hungover can be somehow inspiring, but being gloomy, it doesn't work for me. And I can remember, for example, reading Edgar Allan Poe's Annabel Lee, and it was about the death of a young, beautiful woman, and
It's my heart.
yeah, these are
Sorry that you were
explosions.
interrupted, but what was that?
They're blasting, yeah. I don't know if the mics picked that up, but
We'll add it.
Scary.
Not the metro, no, they're
No.
blasting in the mountain.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying that Edgar Allan Poe once said that the perfect subject for the poem is the death of a young woman. And I was much affected by this at about 8 years old when I read, I think it's called Annabel Lee. So as a songwriter, I like to take the liberty of being utterly romantic at times. In my own words, not as a songwriter, I just don't talk about this stuff very much at all.
Let the maids change the sheets and tie